If you do not know what you want, how do you expect to get something you deserve? Hi guys, I'm Misha. Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for today's video. In my scrubs, about to jump into the hospital, but I was like, I need to get this video out here for you guys because, y'all, this is the video I wish I had when I started medical school, and it is about how to date in medical school and what you're gonna experience. So I'm dividing this up into 3 parts. Y'all know I love an organized video. So the parts are as follows. Part 1 is going to be about what you're going to see as far as relationships go in medical school, what to expect. Part 2 is going to be my personal dating experience. And part 3 is going to be about how to make things work. Things that I have specifically learned in my failed and successful relationships. All right, let's jump into part 1. What are you going to see? I was not expecting to see what I saw when I went into medical school. So you're going to see like 3 kind of different groups, I would like to say, when you're talking about romantic relationships in medical school. So you will find that when you start medical school, there's already going to be so many people that are like married and have kids. I was flabbergasted, guys, because I'm 25 years old, okay? And I still feel like a baby. Like, I literally still feel like a child. So to come into medical school and see that there's a big majority of students who are already married or already have kids was like such a shock to me. So that's something to expect when you first start. The next type of people that you're gonna encounter when it comes to dating are the people who get together like right away. Like, first week of medical school orientation, they're like already together. I'm like, bro, how did you guys have time to meet and like talk? I understand it to a certain extent. I feel like it can really stem from 2 things personally. Like, this is just my personal opinion. I think 1, they could either be really afraid and like alone. So they're looking for a new relationship to kind of feel like they have support, especially if they're living in a new state. Or 2, they could have just legitimately really liked each other and just been attracted to each other and just thought, hey, let's like start dating. We're both medical students. We both have a busy schedule. Let's see how it works. So you'll find that as well. And then number 3, which is where your girl falls into, and I'm going to talk about that very soon, is the people who are in a constant talking stage, okay? Now, my perspective on relationships, I like to get to know somebody as a friend before I venture into kind of more of a romantic side. However, that can sometimes be to your detriment because it is very hard as a medical student to begin a successful relationship. Now, no, I say it's not impossible, I just say it's very hard. Why? Because yes, you guys might have the same schedule if you're like 2 medical students dating, but your schedule is so busy. Like, especially when you're first starting medical school, you guys are always studying. You don't know how to study. You're focused on studying, like study. And then on top of that, like if you want to go into a competitive specialty and you want to be a surgeon or something, you're going to have to do research, do clubs, volunteer. Like, you're going to have to do everything that you did as a pre-med plus like studying 10 times more. So imagine trying to also balance a relationship. Because also think about it too, like imagine trying to balance fitness and a social life. Like, there's so many things that you're juggling all at once. And if you're anything like me, I had moved from a different state. So I was living alone for the first time in a different state. My family, my friends, my support system is not around me. It's very difficult to date successfully just because there's so much change in your life at this point in time. So again, long story short, there are people who are in a consistent talking stage. And that leads us into part 2, y'all, my experience. Okay, I'm gonna be the first to tell you guys, all right? This video is not advice, okay? This video is personal experience, so do with it what you will. But you have to know what you want in life. If you want to get married, don't listen to me. I ain't got no ring on my finger, y'all, okay? But I'm just trying to tell you my story. Now that is aside, let's jump into my experience. My experience dating in medical school was very not great, to be honest. Because I think the people that I went for, they were looking for something different than I was. And a huge problem that I came across and that I realized after I went through these multiple talking stages was that I wasn't clear in communication. I was trying to keep the peace, essentially, kind of just be chill and cool. And I wasn't really communicating what I wanted. So even though I got these subtle hints of like, okay, this person wants something totally different and something more casual versus like me when I wanted something more serious, I would just kind of ignore that. And I would just be like, oh, like I'm reading into it too much. No, you're not reading into it too much, babe. Like, you know what's going on. You're smart enough to know what's going on. Your gut instinct is always right. If you watched my last video, which I will link here for you guys, okay, I give this extreme story, and I'll tell it to you here right now too. I was robbed at gunpoint in Kansas City. Crazy, I know, crazy. And right before I got robbed, I had a gut feeling that someone was following me. And I literally turned to my friend and I was like, girl, they following me? And she's like, no. And I was like, girl, I promise you they're following us. And she's like, okay, make a U-turn. So I make a U-turn, park my car, whatever, think I'm super paranoid, and they try to rob me. YouTube video for another time. However, what point I'm trying to make here is that your gut instinct is always right. So if you're feeling that somebody's acting a certain way towards you, you are probably correct. You can understand and you are smart enough to read their intuition and read their energy. So eventually, a lot of my quote unquote talking stages ended up by me being ghosted. It do happen to the best of us, y'all. And you know what? I think it builds your character, honestly. If you haven't gotten ghosted before, what you doing, right? So it built my character, honestly, but it was a really big wake-up call for me if it didn't do anything else, because it really taught me that I need to be clear and communicate what I want from the jump. So I don't waste my time and I don't waste the other person's time, because it's okay if they don't want the same thing as you, but it's better to cut it off early because you know you're wasting each other's time, period. So let's go into part 3, how to make it work. Things that I have personally learned in my journey dating in medical school, talking to people in medical school. What are the most important factors that you need to implement or you should implement to have a successful relationship? Honestly, this can be taken with regards to romantic relationships and also platonic friendships as well. Number 1, like I had said previously, know what you want and communicate it. You cannot get what you deserve if you don't even know what you deserve, right? So you need to understand what you want. This is why I'm never mad about my talking stages. I'm never mad about being ghosted, because I had to be at that time, because I didn't know what I wanted in a relationship truly and honestly. Like, I thought I did, but I really didn't. And it wasn't until I had that actual experience with these people that I realized, okay, I don't want to be treated like that. I don't deserve to be treated like that. I want somebody who's going to treat me like this. And I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't gone through that experience. So really understand what you want. Now I can sit here and tell you, grab a journal and write it down and journal it and be in tune with your feelings. And if you like to journal, that's great. I think that's actually incredible. However, if that is not who you are, if that's not something that you like to do, I'm not gonna sit here and force you to do it. I watch so many self-help and dating videos and all these podcasts and stuff like that, and I just think a lot of them are really unrealistic. Journaling never worked for me. It's something that I have tried multiple times. The mainstream things never worked for me. What really worked for me is putting myself out there, being vulnerable, and dealing with people, and that's what you need to do. If you want to be in a relationship, go date. Go be in a relationship. Just do it, bro. Nike. There's a reason that slogan works, y'all. Just do it. You can't keep fantasizing and picturing and planning. Again, if journaling works for you, that's perfect. If these meditative tips and techniques work for you, that's perfect. There is scientific evidence backing them. However, that doesn't apply to everyone. And I personally think the best way, or the way that worked for me to really understand what is it that I want and what is it that I deserve, is by dating the people who weren't great, who gave me what I didn't deserve and what I didn't want, and seeing that for myself and being like, okay, I don't want this and I want something else. And I'm gonna back up and leave this relationship, regardless of what type of relationship it was. And I'm gonna go find what I deserve. Number 2, y'all. Okay, all right, I'm gonna whisper this real quick. I know the haters watching this video are gonna get mad, but between you and me, okay? Don't be the cool girl. Don't be the cool girl. If you have a problem with something, if you don't like something, don't sit back and just be afraid and be the cool girl. No, voice your opinion. Voice your opinion. If you don't like the way someone is treating you, whether they are a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or a friend, you need to tell them, period. I have done this with people I've been dating, and I have done this with my best of friends. If you don't like something, you need to communicate it, because that will show you how much that person actually takes your opinion into account, how much that person actually cares about you. Because why? Well, great question. Let me tell you. So let's say you don't like how somebody spoke to you, okay? You don't like how somebody dismissed your feelings. So you go up to them and you say, hey, Bob, I don't like how you dismissed my feelings when you said X, Y, and Z. If they are receptive and they say, I am sorry, that wasn't my intention, and then moving forward, they never speak to you like that again, that means they care about you, they understand what they did was hurtful, and they shifted their behavior to morph with yours. That is somebody that you want to keep in your life. Now, let's reverse the tables, right? Let's say you said, hey, Bob, I didn't like how you dismissed my opinion like that. I didn't like how you spoke to me. They say, oh, I'm sorry. But then they continue to speak to you that way. Clearly, they're not taking your opinions into account. Clearly, they don't care what you say to them. They didn't listen to you, and you're not important in their lives. So now you know that Bob don't give up about you, okay? But imagine if you were trying to be the cool girl. Imagine if Bob said whatever he said to you, and you just sat there and you were like, I don't like that, but I'm not going to say anything because I'm the cool girl, right? I'm trying to keep the peace. And then Bob's going to continue to talk to you like that and continue to belittle you and dismiss you. And then what are you going to do? You're going to build up resentment. You're going to build up resentment for Bob. You're going to build up resentment towards yourself because you don't have the guts to say how you actually feel. And then what that's going to do is keep people around you who don't deserve to be around you, who are going to suck your energy, who are going to continually speak to you like you are below them. Do you see where I'm going here? Being the cool girl is not cool. You need to voice your opinions always. The people who care about you and the people who deserve to be in your life will listen to you and take your opinions into account and switch their behavior. The people who don't will do the complete opposite. And that's how you filter your friends, right? That's how you filter your relationships. And that's how you optimize your life. Because when you have good people around you, when you have people that care about you and will sacrifice for you, that's when you'll see positive change. And number 3, kind of bleeding into number 2, right? To have a successful relationship in medical school, you're going to need to learn to sacrifice. What are your priorities? Okay. For me, right now, in this very moment, dating is not a priority for me. I'm going to be totally honest with y'all. Dating is not a priority for me. I don't need a relationship right now. What I need is my degree, a bag, and my relationship with y'all. I don't need a romantic relationship, right? My relationship with y'all is that's my main focus right now. And that's why I show up here every day right before I'm about to go to the hospital, right? Because those are what I am trying to build. Now, if a romantic relationship is a priority for you, I want you to mark that as a priority. That is a good priority to have. Just because it's not my priority doesn't mean it can't be yours. But I want you to make sure it's yours. If dating and a relationship is your priority, then you're going to need to sacrifice certain things in your life, especially as a medical student. What is that going to be? That's not really up to me to decide. That's up to you to decide. But I think something that really made it easy for me was making 3 top priorities, right? What are your 3 top priorities in this very moment? And that makes it easier for you so you don't have a long, overwhelming list. So you don't have to worry about studying and research and talking to your family and praying and doing this and doing that. No. You have 3 things that you can focus on right now. Because honestly and truly, most people don't even do that. And I feel like that's a big reason why people aren't successful, because they try to do everything all at once and then they burn out. But I want you to pick 3 main priorities that you have and focus on those only. That's going to require sacrifice in the other fields. So for example, if dating is a priority for you right now and school is a priority for you right now, and family is a priority for you right now, maybe extracurriculars and research and taking that extra volunteer opportunity, that's not on your plate right now. And that's okay. You're going to have time for those things in the future. But right now, what do you want? And sacrifice so you can build what you want in this moment. The future will always come. And I think personally, if dating and a relationship is one of your top priorities right now, if you build a really good foundation by focusing on this relationship, as you grow with that person, they're going to understand when you need to withdraw and focus on other things. They're going to understand when they're no longer number one priority, but maybe 2 or 3, because you've built that foundation with them and they know who you are genuinely as a person. So just because you're focusing on a relationship right now doesn't mean you're going to sacrifice everything else in your life and never focus on anything again other than your significant other. No, that is not what I'm saying at all. I think if anything, honestly, your education in your school is one of the most important things that you can do for you and yourself, because that never leaves you, right? Your degree never leaves you. However, a good relationship, a good foundation is something that many people don't have, nor do many people take the time to truly nourish. So if you can do that, if it's a priority for you, and if you can do that, kudos to you. You figured out the game, bestie. You know what's going on, and I am so proud of you. Okay guys, I love you so much. I hope this video brought you some insight and clarity into dating in medical school, what it's kind of like. If you have any suggestions for future videos, drop them in the comments below. My last video was actually a listener suggestion, so I was like, I hope y'all like it. And yeah, if you guys got this far in the video, leave me a black heart in the comments. I want to see who gets this far. Y'all are the real ones. I love you oh so much, and I will see you next Sunday.